My name is Muhammad Shawal Raklan, 271121. Today I will give a review my assignment from subject Islamic Banking Management. The Islamic finance industry in Malaysia has been in operation for more than 30 years. The enactment of Islamic Banking Act 1983 has enabled the first Islamic bank to establish, and subsequently more Islamic financial institutions have been established in the country following the liberalization of the Islamic financial system. Malaysia's success in developing the domestic Islamic finance industry over a period more than 30 years has been provide a solid foundation for country, such as a strong foundation of financial stability that complement the wealth, diversity and maturity of the Islamic financial system. Currently, Malaysia Islamic banking asset reach 65.6 billion USD dollar with an average growth rate of 18 to 20% annually. Currently, Islamic finance is booming in Malaysia, supported by conducive environment known for continuous product innovation, a wide range of Islamic investment instruments, a comprehensive financial infrastructure, and adoption of global regulatory and legal best practice. Malaysia also places great emphasis on human capital development in the development of Islamic finance industry to ensure the availability of a skilled workforce in Islamic finance. All this value offer the transform Malaysia into one most advanced Islamic banking market in the world diversity of financial institutions. The objective of Islamic banking system, as mentioned, is to develop banking product based on Islamic principle, which is to totally eliminate the element of riba. This mean that any interest-based lending or financing is not allowed. Therefore, Islamic banking extends an alternative contract to substitute the interest-based contract, pandemic forcing innovation in the Islamic capital market. The second half of 2020 just see the green shoot of such as innovation as government all over the world scurry to come up with emergency financing package either to mitigate the health and economic impact of the virus outbreak on fund socio-economic recovery from the first wave of infection. First contract is Mudarabah. Mudarabah is a contract between two parties. One provide the capital and the other one provide the labor or form a partnership to share the profit by certain agreed proportion. Mudarabah, or we call profit sharing, is one of the earliest business form used by the pre-Arab for trade activities. Mudarabah contract is a profit sharing contract employed by modern Islamic bank, although representing a growing market segment currently. Mudarabah along with Musyarakah cover less than 10% of all dealing of Islamic banking and finance worldwide. Despite numerous efforts have been made to encourage the practice of mudarabah Islamic banking and finance, the use of mudarabah is still considered to be enormous risky. Being a business entity which is risk averse in nature, Islamic banks still view this obstacle to be colossal impediment to be impediment to its implementation, at least in the future decade. It is realized that the successful application of this theory need combined endeavors from a variety of quarters, including regulator, banker, advisor, and the society at large.
The use of service, or assets or equipments, such as car, airplane, home, plant, office automation, for a fixed period and price. Let's see graphically how Ijara works. The customer approaches the bank with the request for Ijara financing. The bank purchases the item required for leasing and receives title of ownership from the vendor. Then, the bank makes payment to the vendor. The bank transfers the asset to the customer. In return, the customer makes periodic payments as per the contract. And finally, at the end of contract, the asset title transfers to the customer based on the method disclosed in the agreement.
Second contract is ijara. Ijara or leasing is two parties are involved therein, the lease and the leaser. The leaser bank is the real owner of the asset of property, and it is rent out to the leaser until full payment is received. The lease has the option to keep the asset at the contract maturity or give back to the bank. If all the payment received, the lease can keep the asset but at the higher price than the usual asset price. Ijara is an Arabic word, and it is meant to give something to rent. Under the concept of ijara, in the under the concept of ijara in Islamic banking, a customer can use an asset or equipment which is owned by the Islamic bank for fixed period against the fixed price. Al-ijara is very similar with a leasing contract, and the asset under the ijara contract could be a car, home, plant, and machinery. The ijara may be defined as a legal binding contract where the owner of something which value transfer each its useful to another party for a predefined period in action of an agree consideration. If we look at the product of Islamic bank today, we find the contract of ijara is very prominent. They offer a number of products based on the concept of ijara, such as home financing, vehicle financing, service financing, and sukuk. Third contract that I choose in this assignment is kafala. Kafala is a guarantee that is the responsibility of the right of others or someone who has a certain responsibility to take action or obtain a spare part to entitled party. Overall means the willingness of a guarantor to take responsibility for the others. Al-kafala is an agreement between the guarantor and the party receiving the guarantee where the guarantor accepts the responsibility to settle the debt and pay damage if the debitor or pledge to perform the work fail to fulfill his responsibility. The guarantor is required to sign a letter of agreement as proof of eligibility. Kafala combine responsibility between the guarantor and the debitor. Islam encourage one another to bear one another burden. The secure debt should be valid and payable. The recent outbreak of COVID-19 shocked the world and kept the challenge in front of researchers to find an immediate solution. Solutions like social distancing policy are flattening the medical curve but stepping the recession curve, and that is leading the financial system into a crisis. Economic shutdown has created issues like demand and supply shock that renewable through the global economic. Manufacturing industry are cutting down production, employees are losing job and facing a cash flow constraint. Government are struggling to safeguard employment and livelihood of the people to reduce the adverse impact. All this effect turn into a pandemic crisis. To fight the pandemic, many governments have announced stimulus package to channel the fund to people so they have money to spend even if they are not working. However, the easiness of interest-based loan may create a debt trap for household and business firms in the long run, which is will run have a negative impact of the economic. For example, the money fund is Prihatin that announced by Prime Minister of Malaysia Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. Now we turn to the innovation of the product. The first product is Mudaraba. The innovation of Mudaraba is globalization of service. With aspect of the global dimension of finance become more real, the financial landscape has undergone major change with more participants and a more competitive environment. This is turn is the catalyst for increased financial innovation and the production of wider range of Islamic financial product and services. These development have attracted global conventional participants from non-Muslim countries. From the aspect of increased participant in the Islamic financial market and the acquisition of strategic importance in the domestic Islamic finance business. Second, the innovation of Ijara is an interest-free system which is claimed to be responsible, ethical, sustainable, and shock-preserving. As is evident from the global financial crisis, Islamic finance has proven to be resilient because of the nature of its product and instrument, which is offer a balanced solution to channel to the fund to end user but not to increase the level of debt. When the innovation is costly, the rise of big data artificial intelligence can help Islamic finance to reduce the mismatch and cost of transparency, tracing and tracking problem, availability of a large volume of structured and unstructured data also allow the researchers of empirically solution test that conceptual Islamic financial solution. However, since the GFC, there have been change in pattern of Islamic financial market as many innovation happen. The innovation in Al-Kafala product or and service due to the coronavirus disease and era is personal guarantee. Personal guarantee is where kafala is usually being used in Islamic banking in obtain any type of Islamic banking facility from the bank. A customer will be requested to provide a personal guarantor to secure the payment of financing. The second innovation in Al-Kafala product and service due to the coronavirus era is bank guarantee. Bank guarantee is obtained for different purposes such as performance guarantee, tender guarantee, guarantee for subcontract. The bank guarantor contract is made between the bank and another party where the bank agree to discharge the liability of its customer in case of default or failure of the customer to fulfill its obligation as per condition of the guarantee. The third innovation in Al-Kafala product and service due to coronavirus disease is the guarantee in Islamic credit card. Credit cards are also structured using the concept of Al-Kafala. It is due to coronavirus situation which is people cannot allow to go outside because of COVID-19 cases increasing every day. In conclusion, Islamic banking are getting well known with a proven good record since it introduced to society. The growing number of asset and asset management under the classification Islamic is evident of the level of acceptance by the market to compete on the level playing field which other financial institution. Islamic bank will need to be competitive, and this means production and having more innovative product that meet the demand of individual and business. The Islamic product developed must comply not only with Sharia requirement but also with the country regulation, guidance, and circular. The coronavirus outbreak is an extraordinary situation that has already affected economic activity so much. It is almost impossible to predict the economic consequence of the pandemic because of the sheer uncertainty. Like other sector in the economic, the Islamic financial sector is also affected seriously, and the concern is small bank because of the higher leverage.